Nightwing and Red Hood. Those two will always have each other's backs. What's up, YouTubers of the world? MegaGeekMixer here to give you guys my review on Nightwing Annual 2021 featuring Red Hood. And yeah, you can tell just by this cover, it's all about these two and the brotherly love they share with each other. And yeah, Nightwing and Red Hood, they've had their ups and downs, only because that mostly happened because of Batman and stuff, which is natural. That's how it is in life. But hey, just like they both did, mostly Grayson with Batman, they were able to work through their differences and finally get back together as a family. And these two, they've had their differences, but they were able to find a way to become brothers. And that's what basically this book is about. Dealing with them doing something in the present that goes similar to something in the past. Yeah, in this book, we are given flashbacks to them for when they first met and how Grayson helped them out during his time as Robin. But basically, this issue opened up here with what it seemed to be Red Hood committing murder on somebody who was under the surveillance of the FBI agents. He had information and stuff, but Red Hood was like, nope, this guy needs to die. And yeah, and that did not look good. That it eventually made its way over to Grayson and Barbara, who found footage of it. And yeah, man, Nightwing wasn't happy to find out our man, his brother Red Hood was like, his brother Jason Todd was like on doing his old stuff again. He was like, oh, come on, Jason, really? But even still, though, he wasn't getting all mad and stuff. No doubt, like how Bruce might have been if he had saw this. But nevertheless, still, he knew he had to go see Jason. And this is where, as he was on his way to see him, where we are given into a flashback to the Teen Titans days, back when Grayson was a member of the Teen Titans, had been kicked out of the manor by Bruce and stuff. Well, this was when Bruce was gone, and Alfred called him and tricked him into coming to see Jason, mostly thinking that he needs to see Batman and stuff. But no, once he met Jason, Alfred shut the door on him. But this is why you gotta love Alfred. He always knows how to fix things and keep the family together. This is kind of why I've always been worried. What's gonna happen to the Bat family now that Alfred's dead? He was the glue that always kept them together. But from what we've been seeing so far, it looks like it hasn't been all that bad. But just wait for it. I'm sure it's gonna happen soon. And Bruce is gonna go into his usual push them away sort of deal. But you know the Bat family, they always come back to Bruce because they can see right through him. They know him better than anyone to know. Never look at the surface of what he says, because that's just his way of pushing them away out of love for them. Because that's Batman. That's how he is. But all's the same, though, when he first met Jason, it turns out that the reason that Jason and him had animosity with each other, because, well, Grayson was replaced and Jason was feeling jealous because Batman's trying to tell him to be like Grayson. And that right there is what got them into sort of bonding experience, because they both were looking at it differently. And this, in turn, is because Batman, like always. But I loved how in the end, though, Grayson decided to help him out by being like, you may have been grounded by Batman, but since he's not here, we're going to go for a little night out in Gotham City in the Batmobile. And Alfred just let it happen. And yeah, they stopped the crime, and also Nightwing got to see Jason's violent side, but he was able to stop him, and he was able to keep it a secret. And basically, that right there is what happened in the present storyline, because Nightwing goes to visit Red Hood, and when he shows up, he already can tell why Grayson is there, and he was given footage of it as well. However, though, Grayson knows something was off about it, because one thing I didn't show you guys was that when where is it? Oh yeah, right here. When this so-called Jason Todd had killed this guy right here, this guy saw something that makes it look like things were off. And Grayson noticed that, so that when he met up with with Jason as Red Hood, he got to see some evidence to show that there was more going on here than meets the eyes. And you'd expect nothing less from the Batman family. They are all trained by Batman, so they got some keen eyes to know when something is off on something. And that's when they found out that Nightwing, that Red Hood that they met, well, that wasn't the Red Hood. That wasn't the real Red Hood. How? By going to the crime scene, looking at that bullet, and finding out that bullet had clay on it. In other words, Clayface. That's right, guys. It was Clayface. He was dressed up as Robin, as Red Hood Robin, and he framed him to kill somebody. So yeah, the true culprit is Clayface, which they find out pretty quickly. And yeah, right there, they didn't take them long to go and find him and take in one of the Batmobiles with them at that end. But I did love how when they tried to confront him, he tried to break them psychology, like to get their guard down with the mental psychology of dressing up as Batman, but nope, that didn't work. Mostly because Red Hood still has some unresolved issues with Batman. Yeah, out of all the people in the Bat family, Red Hood and Batman are the ones that still have their issues to go around and work on. But even still, though, they were able to capture him, and they were smart enough to know that Clayface isn't the kind of guy to just kill someone randomly like that. And yeah, that's true. It turns out he was hired by somebody by the name of Wolfgang Bylem or something like that. Basically, some sort of dealer who he had come across back when he was younger, as it was because of him being a drug dealer and stuff that he had given stuff to his mother and all this other stuff back when he was younger. So yeah, this is a personal thing for him. He wanted to find this guy, and funny how, like, here's the funny thing, in this entire issue there's a little theme, and that was in the fact that Nightwing drives the Batmobile, but he won't let Jason Todd do it, both in the past and in the present. But when they learned of who the real culprit is, he just look at this. Nightwing decides to give Red Hood the keys. Oh, and did he find out that was maybe a mistake? Because when they find out that he's trying to get on a plane and leave, luckily though, they had Oracle delay the plane, and just in time before he was starting to force that plane to take off, that what happens? Here they come in that Batmobile, and wham! Whoa! That just goes to show no vehicle can beat the Batmobile. I know I'm exaggerating that, but definitely not a plane, because yeah, they did that, and not too long after, they just decided time to kick some butt and take this guy out. Because look at this panel right here as those two are marching together. A show Truman of brotherhood right there. And yeah, they both show their skills as fighters and how they worked in sync with each other for so long. That brotherly bond of those two will always stay strong right there. But then it also goes into what happened in the past. So in the past, they just stopped a robber who kidnapped a guy's kid. And in this one, he was also teaching Jason a little more about being Robin and stuff. And it was after they found the kidnapper that Jason just started beating him up, and Grayson stopped him. Well, that's exactly what we have right here. But this time you have Jason using a crowbar instead of his fist. Which, by the way, if you guys were reading this, you'll know that this is where it brings up the fact that Jason Todd's not using guns anymore. He's using crowbars, mostly because he's taken off inspiration by Bruce by saying, become your fears. Face your fears by becoming your fears. And that's basically what that crowbar's for. That crowbar, a big reminder of a big fear for when he was beaten to a pulp by Joker with that crowbar in Death of the Family. So yeah, that's a very smart thing to do. And yeah, it really shows that Jason's gone a long way, because even Bruce is happy that he's decided not to use guns anymore. Even though he still used lethal methods that are against what Batman would do, he's just glad he's not using guns, because we all know Batman, when it comes to guns, he's just not the biggest fan of them. But even still though, just like before, Nightwing had to stop him, and after he stopped, he even admitted to Nightwing that yeah, it's better that sometimes they get justice injustice and lose their power and their freedom and stuff. That's more better. And I have to agree, sometimes it's better for them to get arrested and take the punishment of losing everything they have versus them dying, because sometimes that's just letting them off too easy. At least that's how I come to see it sometimes. That's not to still say sometimes people have a point that people need to die because they're too dangerous to be kept alive. And I know some people will then, some of y'all will probably go and say, well, what did that say about the Joker? Well, let's face it, guys, the Joker is a very complicated matter, because let's face it, even if he'd die a martyr. In other words, someone worse, someone would take up his mantle, or heck, be even worser than what he was and stuff like that. It's just a complicated world we live in, because that's just the world, what the world is. It's complicated. It's not that simple as black and white, white and black. That's what's so crazy about this world, but that's what I love about it. It's filled with so much mysteriousness. All's the same, though. I love this book and showing how these two have always got each other's back, and that even if their methods are different, they are still able to work together, and they're still able to help each other out when it really matters. This is why I like this book. This book was actually really great. If I were to give it a score, I'd give it an 8 out of 10, or maybe an 8.5 out of 10. All's the same. Good book. I liked it, and I can't wait to see what more we're going to get with Tom Taylor, because Tom Taylor, you've been doing amazing with the Nightwing run so far, and now that the future state is all over, we can get back to his story, because seriously, billionaire Grayson, an unknown sister he didn't have, plus a new villain who likes to take people's hearts, and then of course, not Mayor, but Blockbuster being that kingpin sort of person in Bloodhaven. Just awesome stuff, and I can't wait to see what else Tom Taylor has for us. But until then, guys, I'm going to go ahead, leave it all at that, and please tell me, what did you think of this issue? Leave your thoughts in the comment section down below, and until then, you enjoy my videos, all you got to do is click that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon to be notified when I make more videos, and until then, MegaGeekMixer, signing out. Bye!